Hi, hello, and welcome. We are going to be doing an energy check in for the month of March for all water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. You do not need to have your sun sign in these necessarily. Like you could be an Aquarius sun with a Scorpio moon, you could be a Virgo sun with a Cancer rising, and this would still apply. We're going to go in order, starting with Cancer, then Scorpio, then Pisces. March is a wild month astrologically. We've got a Venus retrograde that's already started, and I'm already seeing the effects of that with my friends and my clients. We have Mercury retrograde in a couple of weeks. We have two eclipses. We have Neptune moving into Aries. There's just a lot of room for growth, change, and shifts. And what's interesting is sometimes when I do these monthly readings, I get like consistent themes for almost everybody. But this month, it's been all of like everybody's getting a little bit of a different message. So it is very choose your own adventure, it feels like, for March. So let's start with Cancer. Let's see what energies to expect, work, and play with to kind of have the best timeline, the best experience we can. I'm already loving what I'm seeing for Cancer. Might get a couple clarifiers here as well. Not reading reversals with this dragon deck, so we're going to turn that upright. So do I want a clarifier? I think I do on the council. Sometimes this card can represent your spirit guides. Sometimes, like for you, Cancer, this feels quite a bit like your higher self, your higher mind. Like if you were to imagine talking to the version of you that is whole, heal, evolved, what would that version tell you regarding any choices that you're going to be making this month? Yeah, especially because I could see your heart getting a little activated. You know what this kind of feels like though? Oh, a couple messages coming in for Cancer. Be mindful of twin flame activations this month, especially with that Venus retrograde being in Aries. I feel a lot of that energy bubbling in the collective right now. I am one of those readers where, like, for better or for worse, if a client asks me to help them find their twin flame, I'll just say no. I'm not going to help you ruin your life. Twin flame activations are really intense. And like, if you're meant to meet somebody, you're going to meet them. Let's just put it that way. If you're meant to meet somebody who mirrors your soul in a way that's going to lead to spiritual growth, you will meet that person. It's probably in a soul contract somewhere. So don't stress. Like if they're not around right now, or you're trying to attach that idea onto somebody quickly because you're afraid of missing out. You're not trust me that you're not. And just enjoy what you have is kind of what I want to tell you. I feel like that's what your higher self would tell you too. Just be mindful of being impulsive when it comes to matters of love this month. Okay, that really goes for everybody during a Venus retrograde. I do see you kind of like being how do I want to put this? A more healed version of yourself compared to the last time Venus went retrograde in Aries, which is 2017, and then 2009 before that. I don't know about you guys, but 2009 and 2017, I didn't realize they were toxic at the time, but I was in two very toxic, very dramatic and codependent relationships that ended very badly for me. And I think I don't know, I feel like we've all done some growing since then. We know where our limitations are. We know where our boundaries are. We know what our heart is capable of and what it can and cannot hold. So I feel like for Cancer, like what I want to tell you is just given all the growth that you have done over the years, since the last time Venus went retrograde, because Venus is all over this reading for you. You have done so well for yourself. You're more balanced. You're more empowered. You can actually see red flags before it's too late. But I feel like there's a couple of you, and this feels very how do I want to put this and keep this PG-13? I feel like there's going to be a couple of you that experience moments of intimacy or are craving. It feels more like craving to me. Moments of intimacy that kind of like take you into a higher place. Please be careful of that too. Try to be mindful of like projecting stories onto experiences, especially if those stories are rooted in old timelines. Okay. Anything else Cancer needs to find their limits around? Let's see what this is. Yeah, it's all about romance. knowing what you will and will not tell. And I'm also hearing from this feels like a gentleman in spirit that might have been a friend of yours who crossed over. Don't settle. Don't settle. Don't settle just because you're lonely. Please don't do that to yourself. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but like if you're settling for mediocrity, but deep down in your soul you want to live a life that is vibrant and especially one that you can share with a partner. Don't settle with mediocrity just because you're fucking lonely. Okay, it's Cancer. Good advice. Good advice from your higher self. This blue would probably have an alien as a spirit guide. Scorpio is next. See what Scorpio's got going on for the month of March. As a quadruple Scorpio, I'm super super excited. Yeah. Eight of Cups, very scorpionic card to me. The energy feels very scorpionic there. All right. Ooh, that's Venus in Aries retrograde. She's going to be in Aries until almost the end of the month before she moves back into Pisces. Oh, wow. Okay. Scorpio. I need a clarifier on the Eight of Cups, but I think I get what they're putting down. They're basically telling you to this is gonna be a tricky one for you. You may have always been the person, the one, the hero of the story who really stands up for the little guy, has to fight for yourself, has to I don't know. I'm feeling like if nobody else is gonna fight for it, I have to. There's a little bit of saviorism in here too. And that saviorism feels very projected outwards, like, oh, I can fix somebody else's life. I'm really probably good at that, especially if you have any Virgo placements or Aquarius placements, is what they're saying. The Eight of Cups, though, is about walking onto a new timeline. It's letting something go that has served its purpose. You probably did a really good job with this. You probably have a lot of, that's what I'm looking for, not chip on your shoulder. It's the opposite of that. Feathers in your cap regarding this kind of energy. You might have been the mom in the friend group. Maybe you are also a mother or a parent who's been the nurturer, the provider. I feel like there's something else coming in for you. And I think they want you to use whatever energetic resources that you used for this for whatever else is coming in right now. This feels very much like let somebody else take on this role. It's not that you've worn out your welcome. It's that there's new energy coming in for you specifically. And Scorpio, I'm not gonna lie, this almost feels like because I pulled some cards for Libra for the month of March that just felt like a massive. I did this during one of the tarot for zodiacs. If you go back and watch, I think it was the one from last week. Today is the third. Massive, massive timeline shift and spiritual upgrade for Libra coming in. Scorpio, this feels similar. With Libra, it felt like I don't know, it was such an overhaul. It almost felt like destabilizing. This feels not as destabilizing, but I think by the end of the month, it could even be by the end of the month. This might be a year-long thing for you, but I think you're going to be in a very different place than you thought you were going to be. If you are able, I don't even think you're going to have a choice really of dropping this kind of archetype for yourself. This feels exciting. Let me see if they can give me any hint as to like if there is a different kind of version of self. You're still going to be applying yourself as a wielder of powerful energy to enact change, but I feel like this is you stabilizing something in your own timeline for once instead of trying to do it for somebody else. It doesn't feel, it's not selfish. This is not selfishness. This is like, oh, you mean I could use all that energy for taking care of other people to like do something for me? And I kind of feel like you're almost not going to have a choice in this. And that's not a threat. It just feels like this is coming whether you are wanting it to or not, like in a good way, in a good way. I love how strong your energy feels, even though. So again, I think new timeline energy coming in for Scorpio in March. I can't really pin down it's very, very nebulous. Like they're literally showing me a nebula, which is like a metaphor for like it could be any number of things because stars are born in nebulas. So there's all the ingredients for new energy coming in, but they're not necessarily telling me where it is. I do feel one of you might be moving somewhere new, and I feel like one of you might stumble into some kind of career thing that you never really saw coming, but you're like, oh wow, like I could give my energy to that. I could do that. Okay. So that's kind of short and sweet for Scorpio, but that's what I got. Pisces, last but not least. I will post the tarot for zodiac. You guys might get 2 videos from me today because what I pulled for Pisces for this first week of the Venus retrograde looked a little rough. So let me see about the whole month. It could have just been the people that were in the live stream, but it was not easy energy. Okay, 4 of Swords. Okay. That tracks. That tracks from what I was picking up for this week. Council card coming back. We love her. Ooh, and these just flew out. So let's see here. Finding yourself, culmination, completion, and renewal. And get a full view of these here. These cards are gorgeous. So what I pulled for you this week just felt like a trigger and a collapse, like kind of like falling into old patterns, wallowing a little bit in victimhood, and being in a shame spiral. So, if that is true for you, again, this is the 3rd of March, the first week of March. I think just for the month of March, with everything going on in Pisces, there's a lot of shit going on in Pisces astrologically. I have a whole video about the astrology of March that you guys can go back and watch. Every single day, there's something going on. Rest, Pisces. Restorative rest. Restorative rest can look like being with people still. Like you don't have to do nothing. It's not like you have to like rot in bed, although some of you might really, really benefit from that a couple of points this month with everything going on. But this looks like recalibrating your nervous system, like slowing down so you're not getting yourself all trapped, slowing down so you're not capitulating to negative self-imposed thinking or self-harm is coming up a little bit here. As mentioned before with the Cancer card, this counsel is this honestly for you feels a little bit more externalized because sometimes when we're in a triggered space, it can be very hard to just like tap on into the higher self because you're too busy being in survival mode. If you have a therapist, a friend, a partner who is willing and consenting to being of support for you while you're going through this whatever this is, this recovery energy, lean into them, ask them for help. You're getting closer and closer. There's never like a finish line to this, but you're continuing to develop more of a sense of figuring out who you are. This feels like breakup energy. If I'm being honest, like I feel like this is you defining yourself outside of a former relationship. That relationship is over. It's over, babe. It's over. It's over. It's over. I say that 3 times so you can just accept it, rest, integrate with it, and move on. I pulled something for Scorpio for this week too, water sign wise, about like not being able to let go of a dead timeline. And like, it's so, grieve what you need to grieve. I think that might be part of the reason the 4 of Swords is coming up for you as well, because it will give you space to emotionally process what you need to process about whatever it is you're letting go of. You're becoming somebody, a new version of yourself. But I am feeling a lot of resistance to it because becoming that new version of yourself means actually accepting your reality. And that's hard sometimes, babe. That's why I think they really do want you to reach out for support. You don't have to carry all this by yourself. This doesn't have to be a self-imposed grieving, you don't have to do this all alone. We got you. We got your back. Okay. So that's what I got for the water signs for March. Take it nice and easy, you guys. The key word for March that my guides have been giving me is journaling, like just writing stuff down, processing stuff as it comes. Again, lots of changes. I'm not one of those doomers that thinks the astrology of March is just pointing to chaos. I think it's pointing towards immense amounts of self-love, growth, artistic inspiration. A lot of y'all are going to fall in love over the next couple of months too. I feel like a lot of people are going to meet their person. And that person might be you, by the way. Okay. Spoiler alert. All right, you guys have a wonderful month and we'll check in again next time.